We have the households and the firms that compose the economy. Without the household, will the firm survive? No. Without the firm, although the household will survive without the firm, going back to the primitive times, that it was only barter trade. So, if you have your extra output or extra produce, you have to barter it to other countries. That's a primitive way. But this time, household will never survive without the firm, because these are very important in an economy. So there is an interaction between the household and the firms. What are the four economic resources? Factors of production. These are what? Land, capital, labor, and entrepreneurship. Land receive. What is the money payment for land? Okay, rent. Labor. Salary or wage. Sa capital. Capital, owner of capital will receive capital. Take note that capital is a man-made goods used to produce other goods. The owner will receive revenue in interest. Bago pa kayong maituro. Capital will receive interest and entrepreneurs will receive profit as money income. Okay. As what I said, household and firms interact with each other. Household provides what? Household provides what to the firm? We have economic resources. And what are these? Land, capital, labor, and capital. Entrepreneurs are? Okay, the firms. So, the firm will what? What will the firm do with these economic resources? They're going to combine these three economic resources to produce goods and services that will be offered to the household. So the firm will produce goods and services. So since household provides economic resources, land, labor, capital to the firm will pay the household in exchange of the economic resources. So again, for land, the owner will receive rent. For labor, the owner will receive wage or salary, and capital interests. Therefore, the household will be able to receive money payment. Since the household already have its income, in exchange of the goods and services offered by the firm, the household will pay the firm in exchange of goods and services. So the firm will receive money payment or income in exchange of the goods and services. That's the basic cycle, right, in an economy? So there is, or the money will just flow between the household and the firm. But in reality, do you think whatever is being earned by the household is enough or just enough to pay for the goods and services? Okay, sometimes it is less than, Sometimes, it's more than. So you'll be able to receive less than what you need. Then sometimes you'll be able to receive more than what you need on the goods and services. So that means there are incomes that will go out from the circular flow. There are incomes received by the household that will go out or that will leak. And there are incomes received by the firms that will go out from the circular flow. Because there are incomes received by the firms that is more than to pay the salaries, to pay for the rent, and all those other expenses by the firm. So, magawas siya sa circular flow. And there are 3 outflows from the circular flow. 1 is savings, 2 is taxes, 3 is the import. These 3 will go out from the main circular flow. We call it outflow, withdrawal, or a leakage from the circular flow. Okay, the first one is savings. And there should be an arrow because it is a circular flow. People, both the household and the firms, will save their money in the banks or other financial institutions. So, mag-save sila o kwarta sa bangko. What will the bank do with the money? Okay, it will be used for investments. Who will borrow money from the financial institution? It is both the household and the firms. So in terms of savings, household will save their money in the bank for those who have extra. Firms will also save their money for those who have extra. However, of course, not all will save their money, right? Because there are those whose incomes are not enough to pay for the goods and services. So there are those who will borrow money from the banks or other financial institutions. Therefore, banks will have to invest the money that will go back to the circular. That means the money will circulate. So it will go out, but at the same time, it will go back. Now, however, there are times that whatever is being saved is more than the investment, or those who save less than sa namulus. But the goal of the economy is to be able to achieve equilibrium, where savings is equal to investment. But do you think that is always possible to happen? That whatever is being saved will be equal to investment? Of course not. Sometimes savings is greater than investment, or sometimes investment is greater than savings. There are times that many will save, but less ang borrow. There are times that daghan kayo namulos, less ang na-save. That's the reality, right? So, BSP should do something to regulate the money in circulation. Because if savings is greater than investment, what happened to the money in circulation? Is there more money or less money that circulates? Less money will be circulating in the economy because the money is in the banks or other financial institutions. It will never grow and it will never earn income if the money is just in the bank and nobody or only few people are borrowing the money. So you'll notice sa mga financial institutions and they have enough funds, they will ask people to borrow money. Nakupan manguhit, no? about house loans of that? Because they have enough funds. And then their funds will never receive income if it will just pay the bank. Although the banks will also have to invest the money in other forms. Pero they'll be able to receive more income if they're going to lend the money. Of course, the interest rate for loans is greater than the interest rate on savings. Because that will serve as their means for their expenses. And even cooperatives that is that way. Mas taas ang interest rate because there's a need for or to receive income to give interest on the deposits and other expenditures. So, if savings is greater than investment, less money is circulating in the economy. So, if there is less money that circulates in the economy, that is not good. That means the economy is going down. But if that's the case, the price is low. If less money that circulates in the economy, the price is low. Why? Because if less money is circulating, less production. It could be that there will be retrenchment, rate of the workers. Less money production. So if there's less jobs, less income, less demand, the price will go down. But we should not be happy on that. Because even if the price is low, we have nothing to buy. So it is a problem sa economy. Another one is investment is greater than savings. A lot of people, more people are borrowing money from the financial institutions or the banks, and less are saving. What is the economic situation there? Now, is there more money that circulates or less money that circulates? If investment is greater than savings? Okay, more money is circulating. And we all know that if there is too much money that circulates in the economy, what happens to the price? Okay, the price will go up and that will trigger inflation. So there should be proper regulation or monitoring on the money supply. I even have one friend before who told me or who asked me, Ma'am, he said, why is it that the government will not give us 1 million each of us? Diba the budget of the government is in the million? So basically the government can afford to give us 1 million. But why is it that we should not do it? Okay, that will trigger inflation. Nature of Filipinos, if we have money, do we want to work? Oh, so there will be less production. Less production and there will be more demand. So everyone wants without to buy. That will trigger prices to go up. And then it will trigger hyperinflation. So it's not good that every one of us will receive ayuda always. Because that will trigger prices to go up. But you might say, Ma'am, wala ka ayuda. So why is it that the price is really high? There are other factors. Diba? In our microeconomics, there are other factors that trigger prices to go up. Now, it is BSP that regulates money and circulation through monetary policy. So, if there is more money that circulates or less money that circulates in the economy, BSP will implement monetary policy. And there are 3 major tools in monetary policy. These are legal reserve requirements, rediscounting, and open market operation. For example, in the legal reserve requirement, when we talk about the reserve requirement, that's a portion of the total deposit that will be placed in the vault. That means if the bank receives 1 million total deposit, and and 20% is the legal reserve requirement. 200,000 of that 1 million reserve requirement will be placed in the pool. That will not go out for circulation. So, in 1 million total deposit of the bank, 800,000 will go out for circulation. 800,000 will be available for loans and other types of investment by the bank. So, if BSP noticed that too much money is circulating in the economy, using legal reserve requirement, BSP can increase legal reserve requirement to 30%. So instead of 800,000 available for loans, it will be 700. And at the same time, if there is less money that circulates in the economy and BSP wanted to increase the money in circulation, BSP can decrease legal reserve requirement probably up to 10%. So having 10% of your legal reserve requirement with your 1,900,000 will go out for circulation. So the banks will have to come up with advertisements or promotions that people will borrow money from their banks so that they're able to generate income and there will be more money that will be circulating in the economy. That is the first one. Second outflow is taxes. Both household and the firms will pay taxes to the government. Whether we like it or not, we have to pay taxes to the government. It will either be direct or indirect taxes. So no one is exempted in paying taxes. So therefore, even if we have limited income, we are paying taxes to the government. It may not be direct, but through the goods that we purchase. Because every time we purchase goods and services, there is tax attached to it. So they said that even an infant is paying taxes. Kita na nilang gatas. Okay. The government will what? The government will spend the taxes through different government expenditures. And we all know that government have trillion in terms of budget. So whatever is being collected will go back to the circular flow in the form of expenditure. And when the government spends, the money will go back to the household and the firm. It is through salaries and wages of government employees, through if it's construction project like roads and bridges, all construction materials, of course that's coming from the firm. So the money that will go out or spent by the government will go back to the household and firm. But again, in the economy, we aim for equilibrium. Taxes must be equal to expenditure. But do you think that is always possible? Of course not. Sometimes taxes is greater than expenditure. Oftentimes expenditure is greater than taxes, right? That's the real thing. Because Pilipinas dako utang. If our taxes will be enough to our expenditures, then we don't need to borrow money from other countries. But since nahimo ng balloon ang ato ang debt from different international financial institutions, our taxes is not enough to suffice our expenditure. If taxes is greater than expenditure, less money will be circulating in the economy. And the money is in the government. And what will likely happen if more revenues are received by the government? What will likely happen? Kung nakupundo ang gobyerno, that will lead to corruption. May galibog na sila kung sa tax spend. So they would rather place it in their own pocket. So that will trigger corruption. Ma'am, it will go back to the people. But do you think they're going to give all? Okay. So, ila dyan na ibong isa. Of course, not all. But, you know, Filipinos are known to be corrupt. So, makakita ganito ang budget. Most of the budget will be placed in their department and then some form of corruption. Expenditure is greater than taxes. That will trigger inflation. If the government will spend a lot, of course, people, household, and firms will be able to gain more income. And that will trigger to increase, of course, production, increase income, and it will increase demand. We all know that when there is an increase in demand, the price will go up. So that will lead to inflation. Therefore, the government should do something with the implementation of fiscal policy that regulates money and circulation. So, when we talk about fiscal policy, these are a set of policies that will be implemented by the government to reduce money in circulation or reduce or increase money in circulation in a form of taxation and government expenditure. However, with the use of fiscal policy, that will take time. Unlike in the monetary policy, it's only the monetary board that will formulate the policy and implement it. It's the monetary board of BSP. So, if they wanted to reduce or increase the money in circulation, it will not be that long because it's only the monetary board that will formulate the policy. But in the fiscal policy, that will take time. Who will formulate the policy? It's the Presidente ba yun? Okay, it's the legislative body from the Congress to the Senate, then signed by the President. For example, if we have our 12% VAT, diba 12% na katong VAT, then the government would like, or congressman will propose to an increase to 15% value added tax, so 3% added. They cannot just implement that one right away. They have to deliberate it sa committee and then sa Congress, first, second, third, and final reading. After that, it will go to the Senate and then signed by the President to ma-approve. However, the President can veto whatever is being approved by the legislative body. So it's still the discretion of the President. So it will take time to use fiscal policy if we wanted to solve the problem immediately. So it will take time. That's also true for government expenditure. So sa government expenditure, you cannot just spend the money that is beyond the given budget. Although the President can ask for a supplemental budget, but it will still go through in the legislative body. So again, it will take time. For the budget, whatever budget is being approved, like for 2024, that budget will be used by different departments. You know, you cannot just increase or decrease your budget in every department. Pwede yung paggamyan, but the problem is, whatever budget you have, dapat you have to use it. Because if not, the following year, they're not going to approve your budget if you will increase it. Because they would say, ganito ka mo, why not have increase? So different government agencies, whatever is their budget, they have to spend it. That will be enough. Because after the fiscal year, automatic nang mawaon ang sobrang budget. Dili na pwede i-accumulate. Last one is imports. Again, you have to take note of the arrow. This is circular flow. Now you might ask, Ma'am, why is it that imports is going out? Why is that so? Why is it that our arrow for import is going up? Okay, because we are talking about money paid. The flow of money from the main circular flow. So, both the household and the firms will buy imported products. Because it's not only the firms who will buy imported products. Samantala na kay Shopee, Lazada. Diba, there are products that are imported. So, we are paying imported items from the rest of the world. We are buying imported items from the rest of the world. Therefore, our money will go to the other country. So like, if we will purchase China-made products, so our money will go to China. It will go out from the circulation. And it will go back in a form of exports. When the rest of the world will buy our exports or exported products. That means, if you're going to buy, the money will go back to the main circular flow to the household and the firms. Now again, the economy wanted to have equilibrium. Therefore, export must be equal to import. But, do you think again it's possible? If you're going to think of it, which is greater, import or export? Import. So probably we would say import because we are always buying imported products. So that will be the assignment sa first group. The data, current data for import and export. Because that's part of GDP. So, first group will have to come up with current data on import and export. Then you have to determine what is our number one, the export na product. And what is our number one or top 10 import and export. So please show to us our top 10